All right, good afternoon, Storm Nation. We are live from the TAT. My name is Blair Blumenchad, and of course, I'm sitting next to the Norm Duke, you guys. Norm.
I said the same thing when I got here. I went, man, that's Blair right there. God, dog, I'm nervous.
Norm, okay, so you are here at the True Amateur Tournaments, and you're meeting some bowlers this week, and you're
Thousands of bowlers.
record entries.
Oh.
There's like 1,500 entries. Like it is insane.
Yeah, yesterday morning at 9 a.m., there was 100 people on the waiting list that did not get in.
100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100 people that didn't even get in.
It's
That's
amazing.
how many people are here.
Yeah, we had the Storm Challenge earlier this week. There were 500 bowlers bowling in that. You know, shake it off. 500. They had so many people. So the Storm Challenge is the event where they have to use a Storm bowling ball.
Okay.
And they have to get 9 or better, and they keep moving on their pair until they get down to the final four bowlers, and they bowl across 5 lanes and try to strike for $5,000.
Nice.
So there were so many bowlers, they had to have 2 start times.
Really?
Yeah, they couldn't get them all off on the floor at the same time. So it's just amazing.
And by the way, there's 70-something lanes here. So I'm looking down there. 70 lanes. And there's 5 people per pair. There you go.
It's crazy. Yeah, and so we're watching some bowling this afternoon. On 39 and 40, we do have Justin Neiman, Alejandro Garcia.
Yeah, he goes by Alex.
Pamela Taylor, Richard Cashel Jr.
Yeah, he's on the right lane up there, if you can see him. He's the big guy in blue.
Nice. And we got David Chalfix.
Yeah, David said good luck on pronouncing that correctly.
Well, I'm sure I didn't. So, but guys, we have a Tyler Jensen sighting
right here. My God. Nice to see you too. Thank you.
Tyler.
Yeah, all of y'all know Tyler, of course.
Yeah, our new president, Tyler Jensen, he's in the building to meet some bowlers. We met a bowler from Norway. Norm, you will love this shirt. Look at this shirt. I'm going to show you, and then I'll show the fans at home. They won't be able to see it very large, but it will be posted later on Storm's channel. Look at the shirt this man from Norway is wearing.
Okay, I do remember that shirt. That was the one that I used to see Brian Himmler in every day.
Look at this, folks.
Also, if you remember, Dennis Horan, he had that shirt too. That was a long time.
Yeah, he said it's like 20 years old. Yeah. It was Tim Mack's shirt.
Tim Mack okay.
And him are buddies, and yeah, so cool.
I'll be darned.
All right, Norm, so you've been watching a little bit of the bowling.
Yes.
Now, do you wish you were bowling?
No. Oh, Lord, no, especially not right now because everybody says how hard they are. And so I got to asking, well, so how much oil's on the lane? They said 30 mils, and it's just 41 feet, and they're only 2-to-1 ratio, so they're hard, and people are telling me. And so I see 500 grit sandpaper, people are just sanding balls, and I also see people shining stuff, so there is a lot of different style bowlers, different bowling balls. It just makes every pair play differently, and some pairs are miserably hard.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the True Amateur Tournament, right? We have all different divisions, all different bowlers. Like on this pair here, we have 3 bowlers that are in the 36 and above division, and then 2 that are in the 215 and under division. So they actually have some handicap, and that's Alex and Pamela. They're bowling with a little bit of handicap. Now, the way this tournament works is you qualify in your division. Mm-hmm. So you just have to beat the lowest score to qualify and advance to tomorrow.
All right.
Tomorrow's our big day. Everyone comes back, and I can't imagine how crowded it's going to be in here tomorrow.
Well, the first squad, you have everybody that made the finals. Now, Here's how they eliminate people. There'll be 5 people minimum on each pair, and like 3 of those will be eliminated in the first game. So 2/3 of the field are bye-bye.
Amazing.
It does, you're watching and people are sweating it out just like I used to, and I just love it. That's the great thing about bowling is they're so passionate about this tournament. They want to win it so bad. Everybody asks me, what do I do, Norm? What do I do? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
So your friend Del Ballard, all of our friends.
All of our friends.
Yeah, he's in the chat and he said the harder the better for Mr. Duke. People don't know what kind of magician he is.
Well, I did enjoy the hard lanes. I mean, I bowled well in the U.S. Open for many, many years after I learned how to play on hard stuff. But,
sure.
It doesn't mean that you want to do it. You don't want to do it. It's like,
yeah, Del, none of us want to bowl on a hard pattern. Here's a newsflash.
Newsflash, right. Maybe we do all right on them, but it doesn't mean we enjoyed them any more than the people that are bowling bad. Because you always think when you're bowling on something hard, you always think, well, there's 130 out there just waiting,
Yeah.
And that's the pressure of it. It just weighs on you over time because you know that bad game is coming eventually.
Well, you know who is not having a bad go of it is Justin, who has come out with the front four this pair. He's not up yet. He's the A bowler. He'll be up after our friend David.
Yeah, David's
bowls.
up right
yes,
now.
David
and
bowls.
that's Pamela on the right lane.
Yes.
Yeah, she's getting handicapped, but she's got a pretty good start here. She's looking for a double.
That I like her ball roll. She is. I like her. She averages 190. It says on the sheet here. So I love it. Comes out to Vegas for a fun time. That's what it's about too.
It really is.
Yeah, it's not all bowling, you guys.
Well, they come out and they gamble. They have fun. They go to events. There's so much going on here in Vegas.
Unreal.
It is. It is not only grown, but it is also grown in popularity. There are people all over this city.
And just events all the time now.
Right.
Like.
Right. They started out with the Formula One, and they went from there to the Super Bowl, and now we're at the TAT.
It's amazing.
We have upgraded now.
Yeah, it's true. I'm sure Vegas looks at it like that too.
I know that we're generating exactly the same income that Formula One did.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. We drove past the F1 stands last night, and they're still there on the strip, and it is weird to see.
It's weird to see, isn't it?
They're just there. They're just sitting there. And then they have the race on the strip. But do you know tomorrow they're closing down the strip for a marathon? There's going to be people running on the strip.
Right, and some of the entries here, I met a young man yesterday that his wife was actually going to run the marathon tomorrow.
No way.
So if he makes the cut, he can't go and watch her run the marathon, right?
Oh.
So I don't know whether she's rooting on him or not.
That's right. Good point. Yeah. I didn't think of that. I didn't think if anyone was doing both. But that's pretty cool.
Well, I'm not running the marathon.
I would not be either. No, I'll be here. Don't worry. It's amazing, and Vegas always has tons of things to do. I've heard several people go to see the Golden Knights play now,
right?
Mm-hmm. The hockey team. But there's just always something to do. So. Yeah,
I tell you what, when they went and got part of the NFL and built that stadium, I'm telling you, ever since the announcement of that stadium build, this place is just on fire.
Yeah.
Love it. Just love it, though.
And we have bowlers from all over the world here. As I mentioned earlier, we have our friends from Norway. Someone in the chat said that good luck to the Scottish boys bowling in the finals tomorrow.
Right.
They
and
already qualified.
Bunch of Mexicans. They're probably 70 or...
No, 210.
210. All right, my bad.
Those are our friend Alex brings a group from Mexico, and they are up to 210 bowlers now.
Oh, and they're so nice.
They are so nice. And they just are so happy to be here and bowling, and they love the tournament. It's just great.
Yeah, here's Alex on the left lane here. Let's see if he can get it going.
I liked that shot.
Yeah, a little tickler 7.
Yeah.
Could have got away with it. He was looking for a double. It just seems like that first double is always the hard double to get. People ask me all the time. They go, hey, yeah, well, what's the hardest shot to throw? Is it the one in the 10th? I said, no, it's the first double, the second ball on the first. Yeah, and once you get it, then it's over. You got your first double for the day, and you can
relax a little bit. So David is experiencing what a lot of bowlers have been saying that they've experienced. If you get the ball too far to the right, it does not want to come back.
No, that's why you have so many people sanding their balls before they start, especially on the fresh. And they're high grit, these things. I said 500. I think 2 or 3 of them were
Not
maybe
500.
60 grit.
60.
They look white. You
Yeah.
can't even read the logo on them. And then on the same pair, you'll have somebody, using non-reactive. A lot of non-reactive going down there.
Yeah.
Because they're hard.
Right. Oh, absolutely. So here's Justin. He is on the front 5 currently.
Yeah, so if you're wondering how to play the lanes, I would imagine that Justin's got it figured out. He's got a 5-bagger.
I'd watch him.
And then Pamela threw a really good shot right there on lane 39. So she's going up about the 13th, 14th board. Here we go. Justin, he didn't like that one.
Gets it. Gets away with it.
Yeah. So Justin on the right lane, they just got the 6-bagger. He took me to the airport last year.
Oh, no way.
From the TAT, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't even know that. We set up the live stream. We had no idea that he was.
I was waiting on. I was about to order an Uber, and
Yeah.
he's coming. He said, "Hey, how are you doing? You about to leave?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, I'm going to the airport." And I said, "Me too." He said, "Well, hop in." All right, good. We had a blast. Yeah.
That is so fun. I didn't know that story.
Yeah.
That's great.
Nice shot right there by Richard on the left lane. He goes by Rick.
Let's go, Rick.
Now, yeah, we got to comment on that too, by the way. Yeah, the Brooklyn, of course.
We did.
So all these people that are bowling on 3940, they know we're here.
They
It's
do.
making them a little nervous. And they'll come back and they'll say something, like, I missed right, I missed left, or whatever. So Justin was letting me know that he didn't like that last shot.
Well, it was really funny because when I put this banner up behind us, we had some people that were a little mad because they couldn't really see the pair. Yeah. And then I told them, I go, but we're going to go live. Oh, their mood changed right around.
Yeah, they're like, well, what channel is that? Yeah.
Really. They're like, never mind.
We'll just watch it on live stream.
Really.
And you're right. You're right there, Dave. It looked like a pretty good shot on lane 39, and he's looking at the full bucket.
Yeah.
He went skinny Brooklyn earlier in the game, so you got to make quality shots. And
And 10 is really the gutter. That's what we've seen. Like, you can't get it right at 10 right now.
no, anywhere outside of 5
Yeah.
is just no man's land. And that's usually what a 2-to-1, ratio will do. You start getting higher than that, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to 1. Now you can just throw it to the gutter, but there's nobody throwing it to the gutter right now.
No. If they are, they're not successful at least.
Right. And here's, Dave on the left lane shooting a full bucket with the sandedest ball I've ever seen.
Right.
Usually we go with plastic on that. No.
And he's just coming back like, what's going on?
Oh, there's our double for Pamela. She's loving that.
She is.
Yeah. I guarantee it. She's feeling a little different inside than what it looked. She kind of held back. She wanted to scream on that one.
She did.
Yes.
I saw that too. I did.
Here we go, trying for the front 7 for Justin, and he winged it. Oh, man, that was pretty good. It looked to me like he got out of that one a little early. So if you're watching and you're going to be bowling later on, I would, think about maybe a little 4th arrow to 12, 13, 14.
Which, everyone that's come into the ballroom where we're getting handed out the awesome virtual energy blackout and summit this week.
Right.
Those are the 2 balls, which I don't know 2 better balls in the lineup for a tournament bowler to have in their arsenal. But they come in and they tell us they should have played exactly where Justin is playing right now.
Yeah, should have been in.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So Justin, I'm not sure if this is the first qualifying squad that he's done, but he obviously has figured out where he needs to be. Now, they don't move pairs.
No,
So
3 games right here.
So we will have to see how they transition, which also has been tricky.
And there you go, a little bit early off of Alex's hand on lane 39, and it sails. He'll leave the head pin in company.
Yeah.
So we know right here on the right lane, this is David. He's left a bucket and a 2-4-7, the last 2 shots. So let's see if he can. Yep, that's Brooklyn.
Yeah, well, hey, you know what? I would take all of those right now. I would not say, no, I don't care, right?
No.
They all fell.
No, you know what? I would be really, really concerned about throwing a Brooklyn on the live stream, though. You can't deny it.
No, you can't. You did it.
Yep. Own it.
Good, good. He's wearing a Rotogrip shirt, and you just said own it. See,
Own it.
He's owning it. He's got this.
The things you pick up on, Blair, are just amazing.
All right, so, but the point is, right? So if I was bowling, I want my miss to be left, right? I do.
Yes.
I don't want it to be really left.
Right.
Right? But I certainly don't want to miss right.
No, a little left is better than a little right,
Yeah.
even though the left sounds like you're going through the nose, but there is a little bit of help.
There is.
It's just you got to throw the ball pretty good to see it.
Look at Pamela. Oh, that was a great shot.
Yeah, bless her heart.
Yeah, Marvin Hale just entered the camera viewing, and he's wearing the new Blue Horizon collection that's available on stormbowling.com. When you see him walk back through, it's this blue polo.
Yeah, it's a really nice shirt.
Our president is wearing the full sweatsuit today, the tracksuit.
Oh, is he?
The Blue Horizon tracksuit.
Nice.
Yeah, you'll have to check it out.
I may have to call Storm and maybe get me a tracksuit.
Yeah.
And I'd be outfitted for the marathon tomorrow.
you would be.
That I'm not going to go and participate in. All right, so we have the front 7 here.
We do.
On 39 and the front 7 on lane 37. This guy on lane 37, I've watched him throw a few. He is really getting through it good. And he's got the Rotogrip shirt on, too.
So Justin, unfortunately, ended.
Yeah, I was going to try to miss that.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, I'm not. Justin, good run.
Yeah, that's not the way you want to end the 7-bagger with
it's all right. He'll
particular 7-10. It was a good shot.
He's still smiling.
Well, he has to be. He got a brook on that lane last time, so he's still ahead in the game. There we go with the 5-7 spare there in lane 41.
I did see a bowler just do something that I've also heard has been happening in this burn situation that we're in. I'm not sure if we're burn or double burn, actually. We might be double burn. But they start to loft the ball. So I did see the gentleman on 37. He lofted it pretty far down the line.
He did. I thought he hung in it, but it was a loft because he was running it out. Yeah.
So you might see on 38 another loft there.
Yeah, and if the tour pros were bowling right now, you can bet half the field will be throwing it airborne to 25 feet down the lane and winding on it.
That is Mr. Marvin Hale with the front 7. And he did end at 7 as well, unfortunately.
But he looked good.
I do believe Dupree jinxed him. I'm calling him out because he came down and took a video. So we're going to call out a video black cloud. It was not us.
No.
It was Dupree.
It was a video black, not us.
Not live stream. Now, Norm, you went pro at a very, very young age.
Yes.
But before going pro, or even, I mean, there were some different tournaments. Did you ever bowl a tournament like this in your career? Could you say, like?
Oh, yeah. There was the American Dream Classic. I got one of those in. I never did get to bowl the high roller.
Right.
That would be a lot like this, just with.
Yeah, and the famous showboat and the high roller.
Right,
those were like, everyone talks about those.
Right, and so I turned pro at 18, and you couldn't bowl that tournament as a pro. But I did get one American Dream Classic in, and I think it was in Chicago. But I bowled a lot of local amateur events, okay?
Yeah.
But mostly what I did was bowled action.
I
mean, I bowled action against some of the greatest names in bowling. I know Gary Dickinson and we probably had at least 150 matches over the years before I came out. I mean, it was like I was always bowling against Gary or Ozio. Del Ballard, he's watching. I bowled Ballard as many times as anybody.
That's pretty cool. I think they do have some, like UBA does a lot of action, but not as much action matches as there were.
Not very many at all. No.
Right?
Back in those days, I think maybe because we had less tournaments, maybe.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But, boy, I tell you what, I used to get on a plane and fly places just to bowl action. I flew to Chicago all the time.
That's awesome.
Bowled, it was always the money men that I knew the best. You know, I had to know where the money, but Joe Guidish there in Chicago. Freddie Chin.
So did you guys like schedule it in advance, and then you just planned a trip and went in and bowled and
That's exactly
took their
right.
money and flew home?
Well, no, I didn't take the money all the time. No, but I would fly into Corpus Christi or Houston. Danny Sharenko in Houston. We played that group so many times. And
Sure.
of course, I had Joe Vito on my side too. So for those of you that don't know, Joe Vito is one of the greatest action bowlers ever, probably the best amateur I've ever met. And he was my doubles partner, so a lot of times we'd bowl doubles. But I'd go to New York, and that was Bill Daly and his group. And then I'd go to Oklahoma, and that was Richard Altman, the owner of Boulevard Bowl there, Oklahoma City. Now I can see that lane 39 just started checking up on him a little bit. So even though he was a tickler 710 on the right lane, that wasn't as bad as it looked to me. And he's looking at the 3610. Good luck with it. We have people taking our picture right now.
Right? You show he got it. Yeah. It's funny. Well, you have taken a lot of pictures already, and don't worry, there'll be more pictures tomorrow because some people qualified early in the week.
Right, and they're taking a day or two off now. Yeah.
That's how I would love to do it if I were coming.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like you come in early, qualify, and just relax.
Right.
Right? You can stay at your hotel. You can go hang out by the pool. I mean, it's a little chilly now, but yeah, just enjoy
Vegas for a day. But I'll tell you what, there is a caveat to this where I was watching somebody check in yesterday and they were asked, how many squads do you want to enter? And I thought, well, why would you bowl more than one squad? Why wouldn't you just pay for one squad and then if you miss, you just go in? And it's because of the wait list.
Yeah, it fills up.
It fills up, and if you don't make it, then you go in there and say, well, I want to try the 7 or the 9 o'clock squad, and they're like, there's no interest.
Yeah.
So that's why these people a lot of them are buying this marathon ticket, right?
Yeah.
And they come in and they bowl and they make it their first squad, and they still have the marathon ticket. So they come in and they bowl, even though they've made it. They come in, they just bowl for practice.
And see different, because, tomorrow they'll come in and everyone will start on fresh, and then it'll transition all day, and then the only other time they re-oil is the finals.
Right.
So you want to see all the conditions, right? If you qualify on the burn.
If you qualify on the burn, you have no idea what the fresh looks like.
Right.
And vice versa. Yeah.
So you do want to bowl, and like you said, there are a lot of people that, like, I saw a lady who, I was like, you haven't qualified yet today? Because she bowls the TATs a lot, or yet this week, and said, oh no, I qualified earlier. I'm just getting my squad in today, and then I'm just gonna go relax. And
right.
I'm like, okay, cool.
And you and I, we'd be at the pool already.
I'd be planning a dinner.
Yeah.
Although if you do it early, like you could come in and bowl at 9 a.m. and then you still have the whole day. So, and Jamie McWilliams does a great job with the event, and it's just all.
I'll tell you what, this is one of the favorite events. I get to go to a lot of the events now that I never got to enjoy. The military events, gosh, so many bowlers in there.
Right.
Well, they speak so highly of this event. They can't wait to bowl. They love it because they get to see a lot of their friends from different countries. And, they bowl the TAT every year. Some of them bowl two times.
It's a community, too.
Right.
They meet people, they make friends, and then they come back. They bring their other friends and come and have their TAT friends and their home friends, and it's just a big community. It's great.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
So I don't know this young man's name, but he's a two-hander on lane 38 with the Roto-Grip shirt. And he's got double spare four-bagger. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep.
No, double spare four-bagger. He's two-handed with a little bit of loft, and I'm telling you, he gets on it. I've never thrown a ball with that many reps in my life. And Delmas, I hope you didn't hear that.
Yeah, Del's still watching. Oh, he's gonna be texting in a minute.
Delmas, I call, it's Del Ballard, right? But I call him Delmas because in our younger days, his real name is Delmas, and my real name is Norman. So he calls me Norman, and I called him Delmas. I think just to get under each other's skin, right?
That's fair.
But fast forward 40-something years, maybe closer to 50, and we still do the same thing,
I love that.
And we love each other to death, but that's how we got started. And we called Chris Warren either Squeak, which was his nickname, or I'd call him Christopher.
It's funny. I've never heard anyone call him Christopher.
Yeah, you just wouldn't hear that, right?
Yeah, that's funny. I mean, but the legendary bowlers in your era.
Mm.
It's just incredible. I mean, even modern day bowling. Obviously, there are some bowlers
Right.
that are gonna set some amazing records, but your group of bowlers that you were not only competing against but yourself. I mean, it's just amazing.
Well, yeah, you look at the Webbers, the Walter Rays, Park Bones, Hamletto. The list goes on and on and on, right?
Yeah.
But then, a few years after that,
Well, and
well,
by the way, almost everyone on that list is still competing.
it's still competing, right?
Which is amazing. And yeah. So
And that's kind of what I was about to say is that Walter Ray, Parker Bone, Weber, they still compete.
Yeah.
And God love them for it.
Norm's like, I'm out.
I'm out. Yeah. But, when we mention the different styles throughout the decades, right, two-handed bowlers right now are that's the marquee.
Right.
And they're setting the mark. But then you have E.J. Tackett, who's getting as many revs on it as they are, and Marshall Kent's doing really well. Good job. Bill O'Neill. But prior to that, before, the lanes got easier and allowed for two-handed bowling, man, you had guys like Durbin and Knipple and Soper. And, man, these guys were on tour pointing second arrow, man. They were so accurate. It was crazy. So people ask me all the time, what's it like going from decade to decade? That's the main thing is you never see anybody go as straight as Slagle or Butch Soper, ever.
Right.
And you never would back then see somebody hook the ball as much as a Belmo today, right?
Well, we were talking earlier this week. One of the bowlers was talking about the event that Pete Weber was just named after.
Right.
You know what I mean.
Right.
He was bowling, and they were talking about how back in the day, Pete had a lot of reps.
Oh yes, he did.
But now if you put him against all of the kids per se, he looks like he's throwing it pretty straight.
Well, yeah, he doesn't. First of all, for those of you that don't know, Pete Weber is now 61 years old. He's not going to get quite as much rep, but even in his heyday, it was just counterproductive.
Oh yeah.
Because we oil the lanes once a day.
Yeah.
If you couldn't throw it overhanded and 90 miles an hour, you couldn't get through the quadruple burn.
Right.
You got all of these pros on the lanes, and a lot of times they started out dry.
Yeah.
And we got all day long, and I'm telling you, we were bowling with.
Plus, the surfaces were so different. Like synthetic wasn't a given back in the day.
No. We had all the charcoal colored boards on the heads that you had to try to manipulate. You'd look down and you'd go, "There's no oil in there," because it all seeped straight down. And we had some lanes that were really brand new. I mean, a lot of the centers did pull a fresh coater, but we also went in there where you looked down and you went, there's going to be a hard. This is going to be hard because it would just look at you. It was charcoal color.
Well, and then the old Guardian came along.
Oh, Guardian. Yeah. And then, let's see, what was that? I forgot the name of it. Give me a second here. It was in Detroit. And when they oiled the lanes, you couldn't get it off your hands. So you couldn't pick your ball up because you couldn't get it off the ball, couldn't get it off your hands. You could wipe that thing off all you wanted. Silicone. Silicone is what it was called.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my word. I've never seen anything like
that.
So after 3 or 4 games, you could not hold the ball because you get the silicone oil on you, and you're like, God, it was a mess. But now every lane is oiled with a machine, so they can really make a consistent
pattern.
Used to it'd be a bug sprayer was what we called it, and there's no way you can get pairs the same, right? But the game has changed so much, and we're so very lucky to have it exactly like it is now.
Absolutely. All right, so for those watching at home, we have some Justin fans. He finished with 231, which is a great start. Probably not as high as he wanted that game to be, but then Marv, 257 start over there. He was the other bowler that had the front 7. So.
Yeah, good start for both of them, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we'll see if Justin makes a little adjustment here. I would expect him to after the end of that game.
Yeah, we have to move left so much quicker than when I started bowling. Heck, when I started bowling, it'd take 4 or 5 games to move 2 or 3 boards. Now we move that every shot we throw. Maybe not 2 or 3 every shot, but at least one.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I see your two-hander over there. I do see him.
That's
got
a
it in a little bit.
6 count, but that was a fill ball. So
Okay, 233 for him. Great game.
yeah, there's a ball change right there for Justin. He had the silver ball before.
Yep.
Oh, there's the loft.
So Norm, if there's a bowler watching at home, right, that's watching and going, man, why don't I bowl this tournament? We're asking them that too, right?
Right. Well, that's our question to them.
Yeah. But what advice would you have for someone that does want to come out here for the first time, bowl this event, knowing the format it's a long week, right?
Right. It is a long. It's a long week. Yeah. What I would do is I'd say, look, make sure that your spare game is on point. So when you're going out and practice and you're trying to get ready for the event, we train hard as pros. I don't know whether amateurs go in and bowl 20 games or if they go in and they bowl 3. I don't know. But look, at least half of the time that you're there, work on your spare game because that is what's going to keep you in this event, and especially since they're so hard.
Oh, absolutely.
And if they were easy and you're only shooting 1 or 2 spares a game, well, then you can work harder on your strike game. But if you're practicing for this event, you see on lane 39, he's going to be looking at the 4 he was trying to hit the first ball.
Yep.
He's got to aim at the same exact ones, the 1, 3, 6, 9. That's not something you want to leave as a right-hander.
I don't want to ever shoot this spare on a hard condition. Nope.
Yeah, if I was on the Dallas Strikers right now, I think I would substitute Jacob Buttriff for the spare here because he's left-handed and he hooks the ball a whole lot.
But you know what? Let's see if our friend spares it up.
He got it.
He did.
See, I think that may be the spot to play for him because he's missing both directions.
Right. Well, I think he actually shook his head as if like, why didn't I do that on the first one?
Yeah.
And maybe he should. And I did have a bowler walk past me right before we got started, and we said earlier in the broadcast, the place to play is it, right, where Justin is playing. And everyone has said, I wish I had played in, I wish I had played in. There was a bowler who kept missing the cut just by a little bit. It was like 10 pins, 5 pins, like every single time. And so he stopped me on the concourse as we were getting ready to go live, and he said, I made it. And I go, oh, that's great. What'd you do? And he goes, I actually played to the right.
Right.
He's
Correct.
like, I did something completely different. I just got I found a little something. Mm. So just because we say, here's where we think you should be playing.
Yes.
You may be playing somewhere else, right?
Correct. And, of course, the more games that are bowled, the more apt you're going to score from deep inside, okay? So the fresh, yeah, you don't want to play fifth arrow on the fresh.
No.
But, if you're on the fresh and you want to make the cut, then that second, third arrow is the place to be. And then after a round or two, there's where you want to be, right where Justin just threw that ball.
That was a good one.
Yeah, and he just changed some kind of red ball. I don't see what it is yet.
Yeah,
but
I'm not sure either.
he looks like, he's looking at me like, yeah, that's the one. Gave me the little wink.
Now, have you arranged your Uber ride tomorrow with Justin?
Well, not yet, but, I got to see if he makes the cut here.
That's true. Yeah.
He's going good right now. Looks like he might make it.
That was just a little far right.
Just a pinch, too, and he didn't think so. I think he thought it was a great shot. I did.
Yeah, wasn't that far off. It doesn't have to be that far off this week, unfortunately. It's hard. See, and the bowler on 41, he moved to the right? He's playing a little straighter.
Yeah.
And he has a pretty good look in there.
You also ask what should a player do if they are going to bowl this for the first time.
Yes.
Don't just pack 5 or 6 bowling balls that do the same thing.
great advice.
Because you're going to be bowling on the fresh, you're going to be bowling on burn, double burn, you're going to have a lot of different looks. So make sure that your arsenal when you get here are separated. So maybe you have one or two less balls for the fresh, but you have something for deep. You know, and it costs a lot of money to get those bowling balls to Las Vegas in the plane, you know?
Yes.
So if you're flying, you've got to select the right group. And that's what I would say is make sure that they are separated, allowing you to play at any point of the day.
Yeah, and I think a lot of bowlers too learn about surface adjustments at the TAT.
Yes.
Because what you can do is you bring maybe a ball is close but not quite working. You adjust the surface.
Just
right?
the surface,
Absolutely.
one way or the other, or both.
Yeah.
You know? In the morning you may be dulling it, and at night you might be shining it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not against the law to put surface on your bowling ball, as Norm mentioned earlier with the 60 grit.
Yes, but you can't do it while you're bowling.
True.
You have
Yeah.
to do it prior to
Yes.
your action.
Yeah.
I've got a question here for one of our players. Let me get to that question.
I'm making it to the finals, right? I'm in the qualifiers. I hear this about pre-shot routine.
All right, I got a question here that a gentleman just asked me. Explain what it is. What is a pre-shot routine? Because it's so very important to do the same things. It's just like in golf. A pro golfer will take the same amount of practice swings. Excuse me. He will go to the towel, or the caddy, or the same thing with a bowler. A pre-shot routine. Do we go towel first, then ball, then wipe, or ball first, then towel, then wipe? We're trying to do the same exact thing so that it becomes second nature. So you never have to think twice about anything. You're just working on the feel of what kind of shot you're about to throw. And in the meantime, you're doing the same pre-shot routine. That's just to eliminate, let's say you wipe your ball off one frame and then you don't the next. Well, that's a different ball because one had wool on it, one didn't. So for those of you at home, you know what a pre-shot routine is. You just got to do the same thing over and over. Now, you can change that routine. Like, for instance, I used to scuff my foot a lot. But if I was bowling in a bowling center that I couldn't slide very well, I'd never scuff. So I would change my routine prior to that. Yep.
So, in your pre-shot routine, you rid your surface off of the nervous surface. Because I know when I get nervous, I tend to squeeze
Yeah.
the ball more.
Well, that's what a pre-shot routine is for, is to reduce or eliminate or minimize at least your nervousness. And so you don't have to think about what to do prior. And maybe that'll ease you up a little bit. You're just doing the same exact thing every time. But good question. You're welcome. Good luck to you. I'll see you tomorrow in the finals.
That was some good advice over there, Norm.
Well, you know, it's certain things that we don't think about because we're pros and this is what we do. But yeah, my pre-shot routine changed every single week. And if I needed to add something, then it would come exactly the same time. Like I go to the foot, then I go to the air dryer. If I had to wipe my ball off with a towel, which I seldom ever did, well, then I'd add that towel into my pre-shot routine. So I'd adjust it week to week and day to day.
Did you have a different pre-shot routine for TV shows?
Yes.
Okay.
Because the TV shows do not have the same setup. You don't have something to put your
Right.
rosin bag on. You know, they take all the chairs out and they build the set. So you have to have.
And you have a shot clock too, right?
You have a shot clock
Yeah,
as well.
right.
So you had to adjust your pre-shot routine based on your environment, and not necessarily what it was something you wanted to do. It was
Right.
something you needed to do to eliminate the thought of, did I do this? Did I do that? No.
Yeah, good advice. Steven in the chat says that this is his very first TAT. He's had a lot of fun. He just got done bowling, and tomorrow is his birthday. Now, I want to know if he made it to the finals tomorrow on his birthday, because I'm pulling for Steven for a little birthday love.
Well, I did sign a happy birthday picture today. I think maybe
see?
either that or there's more than one birthday tomorrow. And he had qualified.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let's hope so. So that's awesome. But Welcome to the TAT family.
We'll probably get the answer in a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, and we will be live pretty much all day tomorrow. We're coming in live for this little qualifying squad today just to give you guys a little glimpse into what is happening at the TAT. And tomorrow we'll go live. I think they start at 9 a.m.
9 a.m. I think, yeah.
Yeah, and it won't be everybody. It'll be like earlier in the week. They'll have to start different divisions at different times.
I did not know that, but thank you.
And you are paired with your division. So we'll start at 9 a.m. We'll start showing some bowling, and we'll be live until the end. And the finals, you were here last year. The finals are always exciting. Something always happens.
Something always happens.
Yeah.
Like if you remember last year, the winner, I don't remember how much they made, okay?
Yeah.
But there is I think it's a $5, maybe it's $2 or $3 or $4, $5.
Yes.
You can pay extra, right?
Oh, progressive.
The progressive. All right.
Yes.
So if you win the tournament, only the winner.
Yeah.
If you bought the progressive ticket, you get one shot, I think. I think maybe it's two.
No,
but
it is multiple shots, and it's like deal or no deal. Like, I think you have to have, is it one or how does it work?
I don't remember, but
I'm
because the guy didn't do it last year, that was the big thing.
Well, so,
he wasn't in the progressive, so he didn't get to do the add-on.
I'm pretty sure they raise it each time that you bowl a strike. I'll have to check with Ed. We'll get all our facts.
Yeah, I
straight
believe
for
you're right.
tomorrow.
You throw one strike, you get so much.
Yeah.
And if you throw another strike, and then
And
you get
so
the big
you have to really think, like, this is life-changing money. So you're right. Last year, the bowler was not at all in the progressive.
He wasn't, yeah, and
Which-
everybody's like, well, why doesn't he get to do it? Why
Now-
he didn't buy his way in?
Now, here's my thing. Now, I understand we are not at South Point this year. We're at the beautiful Gold Coast.
Right.
But there is still a hot dog stand downstairs.
Perfect.
Now, if you go and buy yourself a hot dog, you save money on whatever lunch you were going to have instead, and you have money for your progressive. Go put your
Go
money.
get the $1.50 hot dog. Get two of them, for
Yeah.
Christ's sake. It's $3. By the way, it is a great hot dog, too.
Exactly.
Don't think I haven't had hundreds of hot dogs in
I'm
this
just
state.
saying, you have money for the progressive. Every year we have bowlers that are not in the progressive because they're like, oh, I won't make it there. I won't make
Plus,
it there.
only the winner gets to do it. So, you're basically betting on yourself winning.
Right, so
But if you do win and you don't get the...
it's amazing.
Oh, yeah. You have the hot dog. I think this is the greatest plan. Have the hot dog, save money, and then enter the
Thank you.
progressive.
Thank you. And by the way, it's up to $83,000 this year.
Hey, that's life-changing money. $83,000.
$83,000 is the progressive.
Holy cow.
So I believe the top prize, I don't want to be quoted. Hang on. Let me pull up our handy-dandy flyer over here. So the top prize this year, $30,000. The progressive at the start of the tournament was $83,000. That does not count everyone that's put money in the progressive this week.
So it may be closer to $100,000. So
100%.
yeah, have the hot dog and do it.
Yeah. Eat the hot dog, pay the progressive. I'm going to make a shirt next year. I'm going to talk to our friends at Coolwick. We are going to make a t-shirt that says, save the lunch money, buy the progressive, with a hot dog on it.
With the hot dog picture
we're
on. I
doing
love
it.
it.
Yeah,
we have a
Thanks,
new
Cookie.
apparel line coming out. It's called Dogs.
Dogs. I love it. Yeah. Steven says he switched to YouTube. He is in the progressive and he is in the finals.
Nice.
So, good boy. Good
And
job,
happy
Steven.
birthday.
Yeah, and it's his first TAT. So he apparently has heard the eat the hot dog preaching from us in the past. It's funny though. You're right, but even
Oh, Pam just chopped that spare. She knew she had that.
yeah, I'm still stuck on it was Bobby last year. That's who won. Bobby, and he's a bowler that's bowled the TAT 100 times, and he didn't get in the progressive.
Right. You say it. You said something always happens, and
Yeah, that was it.
that was it.
Yeah.
Well, there's a little bit of elbow right there from Justin on lane 40, and yeah, you're going to pay for it. You got to shoot the baby split now. And by the way, all of you know, that baby split's hard.
Yeah.
There's 5 ways to make it, it seems like, and there's a zillion ways to miss it.
I usually get the 3-pin. More than likely.
Ah, nice shot right there for Rick.
So Marvin Hale, who started with the 257, has had he started with a strike. Then he had a little open of some kind, and then spare strike. So I'm not sure if he's facing this transition. We'll have to watch him.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, he is bowling on a pair of lanes where they've got 2 or 3 people with exceptionally high rev rate. He also has somebody on that pair that is lofting 25, 30 feet down the lane with a non-reactive ball. So, you know, that has to play into it, no doubt about it. It's hard to keep up with, but
yeah,
when you have 5 people on the lane, you know, we seldom had 5 on a pair. Excuse me, I said lane, but we seldom had 5 on a pair on tour. And this pair here has 6 bowlers on it. It's going to transition so much faster.
So quick. Yeah. And, you know, this is the true amateur tournament. So there are all different skill levels here. Everyone is welcome at the TAT. And that means there may be multiple balls going down. It's not the pros. Sometimes you guys strike. So there's a lot of plastic balls going down shooting spares.
A lot of plastic balls going down there shooting pairs. And that's something that we seldom, you know, we seldom look at is how many spare balls are going down the lane. Now, I did when the scores were tough. I just knew that right side down lane is going to get tight, just because people shooting 10-pin. Yeah, and he did not make that 310. He got what you said. He's going to make the 3-pin.
That's what I didn't mean to put it in the air, but that just seems to be what happens lately.
If you want to watch, well, this is a spare ball, so never mind. But
let's see him shoot a spare.
This two-hander right here on lane 38, he's got a clue, and then he misses them both. Yeah, you know, that was me. That was I did that to that poor fella.
We got Ryan, who is bowling the TAT, and he said the shot constantly feels like it is transitioning.
Constantly, sure.
Yeah, that's what he says, and I bet. I mean, like you said, as many bowlers, like, and by the way, this is a historic TAT in numbers. We have more people than ever before here, and the early rounds, which normally, like, you'll come in on a Monday and the squads are not as full.
Oh no,
they all have been full.
Every squad, every shift has been capacity.
So, like you say, with the transition, and of course, you know, they do strip the lanes, but you know, every time they put the oil pattern down, it may get a little different.
Well, yeah, we have what we call memory. Memory is when you clean the lanes the first time. Let's say you start and they're really clean. The very next day, you do the same cleaning process identically, and the lanes will be tighter. And you'll hear on tour all the time, well, they changed the shot today. They look what they did. No, they didn't do anything. They just dressed them the same way, but we have what we call memory. And it's the same thing of wiping a little oil off on a napkin. Whatever is left there when you wipe it off, that's what we would call memory. So they never really got quite as clean as they did the very first time.
Right.
So that memory would be really prominent when you had a lot of 10 pins, because you got all of those plastic balls going at that 10 pin, creating a pile of oil, and then you can't get it all off. And a lot of times I hear somebody say, "Oh, I got it now. I'm locked in. I'm lined up." Well, they've got one strike up there, and they're really not understanding that they may not ever get to bowl that same shot again, because that lane is changing. And so you're locked in, what, for one shot? You gotta stay nimble.
I think I totally never knew that before I started working at Storm and talking to you guys, and I didn't realize how much you guys actually move.
Yeah.
Every shot, because you do it subtly, right? Like you do it not only with your feet, but with hand positions, speed. Like you guys, I don't think the average person that watches you bowl one game on TV knows.
No, and you know, folks, what we tried to do is come up with something that was reliable. For instance, Maybe you move one quarter board every single shot you throw. Maybe it's a half board. Maybe it's a board. Maybe you throw 2 or 3 balls, then move one, 2 or 3, and then move one. It's different everywhere we go, but that's what we're trying to do. Is we're trying to figure out how to manage that the play on the lane. And then of course, as you start pulling players off and making cuts, well, then your process changes.
Right, because there's less bowlers.
There's less bowlers.
Yeah,
so
right.
maybe the last day before TV, you might be able to throw 4 or 5 shots from the same exact spot and then move one. But no, in qualifying, you're just trying to find that reliable pattern of adjustment. It is not going to work every time, and you know that, but you're trying to find something reliable, and that it got hard.
Absolutely. And you know what? I can tell that it's getting harder because it's taking longer for the game to get finished this time.
Yeah, a lot less strikes.
Yeah,
huh?
right?
Yeah, I know my best friend for many, many, many years, Brian Voss, he was exceptional at figuring out whether he's going to go 2 balls, 1 board left, a quarter board every single shot. He was a master at figuring out that reliable pace of adjustment. And that's one of the reasons he's in the Hall of Fame. And
Absolutely.
one of the reasons that I'm as knowledgeable because I got to hang around Vosses and Amuletos and Parkers and Webbers, and they taught me so much.
And now you teach all these bowlers. So
I try, but sometimes I'm wrong.
Well, it happens. You do your best.
Yeah. Weber was never wrong. Okay.
I don't think you're wrong that often, though. I think you see it pretty good.
Well, thank you. I do know this. That shot on lane 38 right there, when you leave the rail with the 8-pin as a right-hander, after you've lofted it 25 feet down the lane, I just don't think that's the way to go. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe me. Well, Dave, he's moved to the right. He's throwing harder, but yeah.
See, this is exactly like we were talking, right? This is a bowler who, and now I don't know if he's qualified already. By his mannerisms, I would go out on a limb and say he has not, because it looks like that he is not just frustrated by a game. It's like, man, I need to figure this out.
Right. It's not. He's trying to figure out something that is different from where he just qualified.
Right.
He's trying to figure it out. Period.
Right. So, and again, I'm not sure if this is his first one, because a lot of bowlers, we talked about people coming in early, but if you live on the West Coast, you can sign up for as many squads as you possibly can Friday and Saturday, work your full-time job from, our California bowlers, and they drive in on Friday and bowl a squad and then plan to bowl all day Saturday. A lot of bowlers do that.
Yes.
So he could be one of the West Coast bowlers that is just coming out and getting going, and he is showing kind of what I've heard a lot of bowlers come in and tell us. Like, I just got lost.
Yeah.
I just couldn't figure it out.
And then you ask yourself, well, why are you going to miss so far that you missed the head pin to the left? And it's just fear. They're fearful that if they miss right, they know what it's going to do. And so they fold early and collapse their hand, and the elbow goes around, and you leave the 1-3 as a right-hander.
And all of these bowlers that are here, throw it pretty darn good. So, but when they're on a pattern like this, they're like, I'm throwing it back. It's like, no, you're not. You're not throwing it back.
Yeah, and folks, that is one of the key things. Is so many times you think, oh, that was me. I used to say, trust me, it wasn't you. Even if I thought it was me, I'd say, trust me, it wasn't you. Make the move. Because I'd rather make the move than throw a great shot the next shot and not get credit for it.
Yeah, make the move.
Make the move.
We're making all kinds of T-shirt slogans right now.
Yeah, make the move.
That's a great one.
Yeah, love it.
Cliff, if you're listening, we need to chat.
Yeah, she's talking about Cliff Barnes, and he's the owner of Coolwick. They make a ton of bowling apparel. Most of the stuff you see out there is either Coolwick or High Five gear. There's a couple more now that I'm unaware of because I'm retired, but they do a great job.
Yeah, Coolwick's the sponsor of this event here, so they've been out at top of the escalator. You cannot miss them.
You can't miss them. Nope.
You come up the escalator, and there they are.
And they are selling. Oh my God, how many shirts have they sold?
They're happy. Let's just say
I
that.
can't even estimate the thousands that
Yeah.
they're selling.
But you know what? And I did have a young lady come in today, and she goes, "I want a jacket." And I go visit Coolick. They got jackets.
I got my hands in the air up for
Pamela.
Pamela. She just got a turkey with that late 7 pin.
She's clean through 8 frames. Oh no, I'm
No,
sorry.
no.
She's not. Wait, where is she at?
She's got a double spare, open turkey.
Okay, there she is. Turkey. There we go. Yeah, I'm looking at the wrong screen.
Well, when you see like I do,
No, listen. I'm
I have a hard
nearsighted,
time.
too.
I was trying to figure out it was a 4-bagger or a 5-bagger a minute ago, so that's how bad I see.
Tomorrow, I might put a little zoom in magnifying glass for us on the monitors.
All right, the last shot that Dave shot, Dave, who just spared that 3-pin on the right lane. On the left lane, he left the 3-9 and missed them both to the left. So now you're looking at that 3-pin, and the only thing you can think about is, I just whiffed this to the left last time.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you fix that?
I don't know. Let's ask Dell.
Dell, what he got for us?
Yeah, Dell,
I
what
think
do you
Dell left us. He's like, yeah, you're fine. I'm going. He's probably watching young Alyssa bowl at Vanderbilt.
Okay, there we go. That's a little trip 6 Brooklyn. Now his game. Now realize. Wait a minute. I'm maybe looking at the wrong score. He's A now. That was Pamela before. Okay, so that 4-bagger right there, that Brooklyn trip 6, got him to the 4-bagger. That's massive because the alternative is a big 4, right?
Oh wait, he's gonna report something.
Okay. All right, so Justin's telling me right now that the right lane, the first 5 feet is like carpet.
Oh, good.
Meaning there's no oil and that it's checking up early and he's trying to get around that, you know?
Yeah. Now, one thing to mention too, the Gold Coast is going through massive renovations here. This property, which you've bowled at the Gold Coast, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, my last shot for score, Anthony Simonson struck in the 10th to garnish a Masters title. That was my thanks,
Thanks
Anthony.
for bringing that up.
You dog. So yeah, my last shot for score in an event for a singles event was in this building for the Masters.
Yeah, and this is a very historic property. This is a very historic property, and but they are going through this renovation, and the USBC actually came out here in January for before team trials, and leveled all the lanes.
Really?
Yeah. So these lanes, well, because a lot of bowlers have said, I think the lane beds are new, or I think something is happening, which they are getting new lane beds, I believe. That's part of the big renovation, but they have not gotten the new lanes. It's just leveled.
So it's the undercarriage was leveled, but the lanes they're waiting on those.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Certain things you don't know as a retired bowler that others do.
Yeah. Well, it's we learned it recently because we thought part of we thought the renovation of the lanes had already happened, but it hasn't. Got delayed a little bit, but they were leveled.
Oh, Pamela, she's just close for that 10 pin.
She is.
Yeah, I thought that she had the double spare open. Pamela's got strike open, and then another open in the 9th. So this is not what she's wanted. And you can tell she's frustrated. And that's what hard lanes do right there. Take you from what you thought was a really good look and you're thinking, okay, I got this, and then you don't.
Yeah.
Folks, you can just scan, like right now, I don't see very good, but I'm scanning the scores. There's so many circles up there. There's so many circles. Splits give you a circle, right? Well, there's a lot of circles.
Well, and your advice earlier when I asked you what would you tell people that are coming to the TAT for the first time, what should they work on?
Spares.
Okay. I've had at least 10 people in the last 2 days, not the whole week, 2 days, tell me that the reason they missed was because they missed too many spares.
Right.
So 100%, you are right on. And if you can be honest with yourself, say you don't make the cut. You came out here to the TAT, you had a rough go of it. If you take the time and reflect and look back at how many spares you missed, you might find the pins you needed to be in the cut, right?
Yeah, and you may ask, well, what do I do when I go to the bowling center and I work on my spare game? Do I just throw my spare ball down there? No, not always. What I do is, I didn't have a spare ball, so I understand that. What I would do is I would just shoot the 710, and I'm trying to hit only the 7 and only the 10 pin on a full rack. So if my frame went perfect, I would get 2, 1, and then 1. And I do that over and over and over because what it did was it allowed me then to view a 7 and a 10 pin in reality. It looked way bigger because when you're shooting a 7 and 10 from a full rack and you're trying to only get 1, you're skimming that by at least half. So you have less than half the room at just the 7 and just the 10. So when I shot a 7 pin or a 10 pin, I got double the room at it.
Yeah.
So it made me feel very, very confident at a single pin. And the confidence is what you really need at that spare. Really, you're not needing more input, right? You don't need to know how to do it better normally. You just need a better shot, and that's what I did. So 7 pins and 10 pins. I'd also, every time I'd leave a single pin, I would try to hit it, wiggle it, and not knock it over. So I'm trying to shave that thing so thin that it would just topple over or maybe even wiggle it. And that was, I didn't do it every time I threw it. Of course I didn't.
Right.
Probably 1 in 100. But I tried, and that gave me the ability to shoot splits. Because I'm trying to do the same thing when I shoot a split. So I'm trying to shave the single pins. And then when I get into competition 2 or 3 days later and I want to shave that pin, I've done it.
Makes sense.
That's what I did.
Man, you have all the advice. I hope bowlers that are listening are taking some of this advice to heart.
Yeah, and one of the
differences, right?
Yeah, one of the differences is I didn't have to pay for my bowling. So you may think, well, that's just a waste of money. But we didn't pay for our bowling, so it wasn't a waste.
But it's an investment too.
Absolutely.
Let's say that you are investing a lot of money to come out and spend the week at the TAT, right?
Right.
That's an investment. I mean, we joked about the hot dog, but we understand how much it costs to be here, right?
Yes.
Which is why we're saying shave off the lunch at
Get
TGI
the
on
dog.
Fridays and get the hot dog. but if you are investing in a tournament, you have to add in the investment that it costs to prepare for the tournament. You mentioned equipment. You might need a new ball, which luckily Storm is here to provide you. Like, if you came to the tournament and you were like, man, I'm missing a pearl asymmetrical ball, right? Well, we're giving away a virtual energy blackout.
Right.
We're here for you.
We're here for you.
Yeah. So now, and the other ball, the Summit, that one's a little duller. And we always do this, right? So if you do purchase the marathon package,
right,
you get your choice at the and because the Summit is the challenge ball, and the virtual energy blackout, which they call the Bebo.
The Bebo.
Yes.
Bebo,
so
okay.
Bebo, yeah. So Bebo, that one, yeah, Bebo.
Bebo, virtual energy blackout.
Yes, Bebo. So Bebo, that one's the entry ball. So if you if you entered the Storm Challenge and you get your entry ball, you get 2 balls.
Okay.
The virtual energy blackout and the Summit. You buy the marathon, you get your choice at that ball.
Okay.
So there's lots of options. Jamie does a great job building all the different packages. Like, you literally can build whatever you want this week. If you want to come in and bowl one squad, you can. If you want to come in and bowl them all, you can.
Right.
But like you said earlier, they're going to fill up. So you want to make sure that you plan ahead.
Right. Now, if you're only going to bowl one squad, and you're only going to enter one squad, then you want to definitely work on that spare game before you leave.
Yeah. But there is, and I've told other people too, there was a bowler in the room yesterday, and he actually had hurt his elbow this week. He was just in a lot of pain. It was just hurting. He had bought the marathon package, so he had a bunch of squads. You can bowl too much, too.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. In fact, that would be my biggest advice to you is, look, don't burn out.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, just like anything else, you know, you go golfing and you say, well, let's go around again, right? Let's play 36 today. Well, it's hard not to get burnt out about 7 or 8 holes from the end, right? And you don't want to do that when you're relying on your performance. So just pace yourself in that regard. But the main thing is, folks, enjoy it. My goodness, this is still a game. It's a wonderful game.
It is.
Enjoy it.
And this is a great tournament. It really is. If you're an amateur bowler out there, put this on your list. Actually, there's 2 a year. July and February every year. Usually we're around the Super Bowl. Of course, the Super Bowl was here this year, so we got kicked out.
Right.
I don't understand why the TAT is not as important as the Super Bowl, but I don't get it.
I don't get it either. Maybe it has something to do with Patrick Mahomes. I don't know.
Maybe.
Brock
Taylor
Purdy.
Swift.
Nice shot right there. That's a good start.
You know, it is pretty funny. We're going to get back to talking about bowling. They're starting this next game. But I had an Uber driver last night tell me that she Ubered 15 celebrities on Super Bowl Sunday. She didn't say who, but she said that she Ubered 15. And then she said that one of them tipped her a private party tickets.
Really?
Because all the casinos shut down during the Super Bowl. And they all were like private party casinos. So you couldn't buy a ticket. You had to know people to get a ticket.
Well, I didn't know all that.
I didn't either. I learned all this yesterday. So it's pretty fascinating. But I don't know about you, but when I saw the Super Bowl in Vegas, I watched it. It was a great Super Bowl. And I thought to myself, what? It should be in Vegas a lot because this is the town that can do that, right? They can hold that. I can't afford it. I'll never go to a Super Bowl in Vegas, but oh, anyway, all right, back to bowling.
Nice shot right there. See, that's the way you want to do those spares. Just full in the face. No, no luck. Just knock them over full in the face.
Absolutely.
Oh, he's still searching.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Dave on the right lane, and you can tell he's searching. And then Pamela here on the left lane. I said, just enjoy it. This is the last thing she's thinking about right now is enjoying it.
Yeah.
She is kind of got frustrated. Now she's looking for something, right?
Right. Well, and the bowler on 40, you saw him just kind of do this motion of his wrist, right, after his release.
Yeah.
Because he is coming around it every time because, again,
he's afraid to move, miss right.
Exactly, right? It's so easy to pick up a habit when you're just in one of these tough situations.
Yeah, if you can't miss right, the first thing you're going to do is fold the elbow and miss left.
Jamal is in. He said this shot is hard. Glad I qualified yesterday. Jamal,
Yeah.
We're glad you qualified too, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, and some of the folks are saying that today is harder than yesterday. Now, that doesn't mean that all the people made it yesterday and nobody's going to make it today because they make it or they miss based on their squad.
Right.
And once you make it, they can't bump you by, having an easier day the third day or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's quite fair that way.
That's the other thing that, we talk about this a lot at the Storm Game Championships and other tournaments that we go to where, and obviously, from the tour, it's so important to maybe not score watch, but look at the pace of the scores, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you come in and it took 7:06 to qualify, right?
Right.
But make sure you're looking around at what's happening now, because there might be more bowlers, and this might be a lower qualifying group.
It might take 640 the next squad. You're bowling on double burn. Maybe that's the highest scoring, of the day. That's the time that you can get all the numbers. But it doesn't mean that you don't have a shot if you're bowling the first squad. The first squad, you just beat the people on the lanes.
Right, and if you look over and see, like, our friend Justin and Marvin, they had the front seven the first game, right? But they might be in a different division than you.
But correct, exactly.
So everyone, it's just so important to just know, like, look at everything that's happening, right? And I don't know, were you a score watcher, or did you try not to see, like, what place you were in throughout the tournament?
No, I was a watcher, but not because of fear. I thought I needed to know. I need to know
Where am
when
I?
the lefties start killing them. I need to know when it goes from straight is great to move in and boom it. I watched in that manner. Like if I saw Dale Traber start with the first 5 or 6,
Yeah.
then I'd go note to self. Straight game is playing 5 or 6. If you get in trouble, I can immediately just do that. And if I saw, this is probably a little older, but Bob Hanley, let's say he was banking Bob Hanley back in the day, and nowadays players attack it, or a Simo or a Bilmo, really getting them from inside, and then I would take note and say, look, I always wanted to be in the area on the lane that was yielding the best scores.
Yeah.
I never did what I wanted. I never felt like I want to do this. I would not allow that. I would say, look, do your read, and do it. No questions asked.
Right.
And throw it at will, but throw it without fear.
Right.
And I would say that all the time. Sorry, Blair. I'd say at will, without fear. I'd say that out loud to myself, so that I practice what I preach.
And I think what some people that are watching might not. Oh, by the way, I did get the name of the two-handed bowler from the chat. Someone's watching and knows him. It's Jovan.
It's who?
Jovan.
Oh, Jovan.
Yes.
Yeah, he's throwing it right now on lane 38.
And he has stepped in front of the ball return. Pretty darn good right there.
Yeah, that's a turkey.
Yep.
That gets him over 200 for the game.
And he started with 233, so this is a good.
That was a big shot right there, because I say a big shot, big frame. He got a double in the 10th to maintain his plus. So decent game last game, and he'll be in.
So back to what you were saying, what viewers at home might not realize is, even if you see, now, obviously, you may not throw it exactly like Jason Beltrami. Last time I checked, I'm not sure. You might have taken up two-handed recently, but you still can read off of where he's playing the lane.
Well, not only that, I would play where he is.
Right.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
And in the guys, like, we know that a Chris Barnes is going to be able to play 6th arrow, our first arrow, and not have an issue with either. And they know that about me. But some guys, we just know. I'd rather bowl EJ Tackett from 1, 2, 3 than from 5th arrow. He is devastating inside. I'd rather bowl Belmo from 1, 2, 3. So if we have a gutter shot up, those guys are not going to get to it as quick as a Chris Barnes is. It's just not going to happen. They don't spend enough time out there. Most of their tour games are from 7 or 8 in. I want to say 7 or 8. 7 board, 8 board in. They don't seldom play out there. They don't play enough out there to be as confident, right?
Yeah.
But Chris Barnes is going to play out there
all day,
half the doggone time. And he's going to play in there half the doggone time.
Well, and that's, like you said earlier, that's what makes you guys Hall of Famers, right? You have to, if you're going to be in the Hall of Fame, you got to know how to play every board on the lane. Right?
Yes. And don't get me wrong. Tackett and Belmo can play right of 5 like no tomorrow. But that was one of the areas that I'd rather bowl them, because they can play inside much better than that even.
Right. Yeah, because you all have strengths. Like these bowlers here, you know your strength, right? You know what you're really, really good at.
Yeah.
But you also have to be able to do something. Like, if me, example, I love the 8-board. If I can camp out all day long on the 8-board, sign me up.
All right.
Play there.
There's a new wardrobe. 8-board. 8-board or bust.
8-board or bust. Oh, that's a good one.
Love it.
I'm in.
WWND.
Here's another
What
t-shirt.
would Norm Duke do? Can you see that?
Yeah, here. We'll hold this up for everyone at home. This is what, hang on, let me make us big here.
People communicating with me now.
What would Norm do on the right lane? the sign that was just given to us. That's awesome. He says move left.
I said move left.
Oh man.
Very nice.
That's funny.
I tell you what, I have such a great time with all of
he's
these
going
bowlers.
to the ruby. It's the Okay, so we're making a ball change. We're going to the IQ Tour ruby
Right.
on this lane.
Or correct, I'm sorry.
Well, on the right lane too, right.
What would Norm do? Well,
That's awesome.
that doesn't always translate to the right thing to do.
Right. So me and my 8-board. The 8-board is not in play right now. It might be. I would try it because that's where I like to play. But looking at how this is all going, I'm not sure it would be in play. But I could move it. I know it's not my favorite place, but like you said earlier, you have to get out of your own way and realize I have to do what the lanes tell me to do, and the lanes are not telling me I can play this.
Right, and you're right. There's too much too many balls going down the lane inside of 8.
Yeah.
So every time you miss from the 8-board, you're going to be through the nose, right?
Ooh.
Kind of like Justin was right there. That's what I would do, Justin, on the right lane. I would throw it. Trip 6 Brooklyn. Yeah, that's what he was saying, is that the lane is carpet on the laydown area, which is throwing all the balls to the left.
Jamal, this is your story from earlier. Jamal, if you sign someone's jersey, they are destined to get a 5-bagger. That's what Jamal says.
Oh yeah, because I signed a lady's shirt on the back before, and her husband was next to me. And I signed it just below her name, and he said to me and to her, he says, "Oh, you got yourself a tramp stamp, okay?" And she took that tramp stamp up there and just 5-baggers, the next 5. And she said, "I'll take tramp stamp all you want, as long as I get my 5-bagger." So yeah, Jamal, you're right.
We've been having some fun here at the TAT, that's for sure. There is no shortage of fun, even though it is hard out there.
Right.
Some faces may not look like they're having the most fun right now. They are. Don't worry.
Well, Dave on the left lane, he finally got his good shot now.
He did.
The problem is he's going to go to the right lane and it's carpet, so who knows?
Yeah. And that's the luck of the draw too, because you get your lane assignment, and that's lucky,
Right.
or not so lucky.
And there are a lot of things that make a lane play like, they say it's carpet in the head area. Well, maybe it's because a couple of people started with a really, really dull ball in practice, and they only threw it on the right lane. And then when they went to the left lane, they said, "Oh, I like this one better," and it never got traction on the left lane. And then you have double burn. Maybe that happened 2 or 3 times. You never know. So just be nimble. And every time you bowl, be nimble, and don't be afraid to do things outside of your comfort 8-board zone.
Dang
right?
it. All right, I'll have to listen to Norm.
Yeah. Maybe 8-board or bus is not the apparel line we want.
I like that line. I'm at least getting one T-shirt for myself. Steven says he is going to bring a Sharpie tomorrow for you to sign his jersey after hearing the guaranteed 5-bagger.
I love it. I'm not guaranteeing a 5-bagger. I'm telling you, that's fine.
That's what happened earlier.
That's what happened too. I think it was Elaine. I'm spacing her name, but she was adorable. She was wearing a mask too the whole time. So if I see her right now, I probably won't even recognize her.
Well, Steven, also, it's his birthday tomorrow, so he would have a lucky autograph and birthday going for him. It's pretty good odds of luck. Hopefully.
Yeah, what do you want to do on your birthday? I want to go to the TAT. Absolutely.
100%. It's a great birthday present. Spend a week in Vegas? Okay.
All right, good spare there for Justin.
So there was a question earlier this week that they asked us in the ballroom, and I'm going to ask you because you have bowled in a lot of bowling centers in Las Vegas, some that aren't even here anymore. And what is your favorite bowling center ever that you've ever bowled in Las Vegas?
In Las Vegas.
In Las Vegas.
My favorite has to be the new stadium over at the
South
South Point.
Point?
Yeah, I liked South Point anyway. Not because listen. I've never won a tournament in Las Vegas.
Right.
It's one of the few cities that I bowled mostly in.
You've
I mean, every
never
year
won?
we would bowl 2 or 3 tournaments in Las Vegas. I've never won a tournament here that I remember. No,
Wow.
I am. No, that was Reno. so, scoring wise, I didn't really have a favorite, but South Point, they have a beautiful facility to start with, and then they built this massive bowling arena, and it just says pro bowling when
Yeah.
you walk in there, and I
Yeah.
think that's what made it cool for me. It was nothing in there.
Right.
Excuse me. That would say, wow, 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 that's cool, but it was pro bowling atmosphere. You got Nelson Burton Jr. and Wayne Zahn over here, and Earl Anthony, all the pictures in that facility of the greats, and it just speaks.
Pro bowling.
It speaks pro bowling, yeah.
Yeah, like legacy. Yeah, it's a good one. I love that one. Actually, comes up for everyone. I think now it is a favorite, and that the Open Championships is getting started over at South Point.
Yep.
We have bowlers that are bowling the TAT this week and bowling squads over at the Open Championships.
Yes.
So shout out to our friends over there.
I've met many of them that are bowling both. Yeah.
Yeah, and but now Gold Coast is hosting a lot more events.
Right.
There's a upcoming senior teen classic happening here in April. So that's a big one. Brad Edelman is putting that on.
Okay.
Our friend that puts on the military tournament.
Right.
So there's just so many events in Vegas. Oh my goodness, it's a great place to come to.
Yes. And I think maybe one of the reasons why you got guys, so many of the pros live here now. Anthony Simonson lives here. I think Marshall Kent, if he doesn't live here now. Oh, well, he
did move. I
he
think.
did move. Yeah.
Darren Tang.
They have the Tang, and then Bill Hall is here, one of the greatest coaches in history of mankind.
One of the bowlers told us that Bill Hall was putting on a clinic yesterday, and he was leaving the TAT to go get a lesson because something just didn't feel it right, and then he'll come back and bowl today.
Well, that's a smart man right there.
Yeah.
Bill and I had about 20 years together, maybe more. Brother in arms right there.
Pretty awesome. All right, well, we are more than halfway through the last game for these bowlers in the qualifying round. It looks tough.
Yeah, it looks tough. They've made me hungry. I think I'm going to go and have a dog.
See? There you go.
I'm going to have a dog.
Well, it is almost breaking time for you today, so I would suggest Ping Pong Pong, which is, have you,
I've eaten there, sure.
Yeah, and I haven't eaten there.
You haven't?
No, I haven't yet. It's been so busy.
It is very busy, yeah. You got to catch it right after dinner rush.
Yeah, but apparently it's like one of the legendary Chinese restaurants in Las Vegas.
Well, I didn't know that.
It is, and they're really known for their dim sum.
Dim sum?
Yes.
Dim sum, good dim sum now.
That's what they're known for downstairs.
Dim sum, good dim sum. Boy, I tell you what, these lanes are starting to get a boatload of friction.
Yes.
Every shot I see, through the nose, through the nose, through the nose. So when you said, what do you watch? That's what I watch. I see the amount of shots through the nose, and then I know left is better than, move quick, move now.
Well, Norm, I think we are going to wrap up this live stream and head off to greet some people.
Let's go sign some autographs and greet some people.
Yeah.
I love it.
But, folks, if you are watching, we will be back all day tomorrow.
All day tomorrow.
Norm needs his rest. He's going to be talking a lot tomorrow.
Good for me.
All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in, and we'll be back again, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.